part of me wants to just let the music end and then be silent for like 10 minutes.
Make people guess that we're not talking.
But seeing as last episode was our highest downloaded episode, any new listeners be like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to listen to this garbage. Robert Kirkman's not on. There's nobody of note on.
Did you learn nothing from last week? You don't start off on a negative point. You start on a very high positive point.
The high positive point is, if you are listening to this now, I would like to say thank you. We've had a very nice uptick in downloads and people listening and people saying nice things. And things are on the upswing. It's nice. I like hearing from all you guys, and it's been really nice, the things that people are saying. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm agreeable.
That's too much.
It's too much?
No.
Fuck off.
It's quality content. It brings in the viewers.
We don't have viewers.
Listeners. Viewers, listeners.
We'll put a camera up here. It'll be very, very disappointing to anybody that's watching.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Faces for radio. Sorry.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 9 to 5 Nerds with Robert Swathwood, Corey Urkel, our esteemed producer, Katrina Swathwood.
Thank you very much.
And our guest this week is Todd McFarlane this week. It didn't work last week.
Didn't work out last time.
Not this time either.
Alan Berserker.
I am not anybody of note, but thank you for
You could be.
One day.
One day.
Aspiring.
Maybe something you say on here.
We'll open the door.
We'll open the door.
I'll open the door, yeah.
The cell door.
And close the window.
Right in jail you.
And close the locks. And yeah, last week's episode was a lot of fun.
It was. I had fun listening to it.
Yeah, and a lot of people have said a lot of nice things. And it was fun. It was pretty cool.
I'm glad you're happy, Robert.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous to begin with, but my body was nervous. Does that sound weird?
Your
I had
bowels?
the shits. Like, bad.
Not surprised by
Yeah. Yeah. So that was it was interesting.
Yeah.
And he couldn't have been nicer. So if you are a new listener, we do talk about a lot of weird stuff, but it always has a pop culture spin on it. You know, movies, comics, video games, weird things that are in the news, poop knives. It doesn't always revolve around shit.
Well,
everybody does it. You know,
Everything gravitates towards shit.
Yeah.
Everything
eventually
south.
turns to it.
South. Yeah. And speaking of going south, Toys R Us not only announced they were closing and liquidating their assets, but the founder of the company died this week.
Yeah.
did you not hear that? It was like the day after.
Yeah.
So, how did he die? Heart attack? Suicide?
Well,
He's like 94, wasn't he?
I think he was 94.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
So
the
stress.
The official name for it is
He wasn't, he didn't die in the middle of sex? Wasn't something cool?
no.
Something cool? That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that how you want to
Using one of
die?
his toys?
Like hanging in a closet? That's how you want to go?
Yeah.
Your sex is so short and infrequent, they would have to be like a sweet spot for you to die during. I'm talking about you. I'm insulting you.
I think this old guy?
No.
You don't know what he's doing.
Saying you. He's the owner of Toys R Us. He could be banging
Yeah.
20 different... Anyways, 94 years old. That's...
I'm sure
Remember
his body...
me? I created Jeffrey. Say my name.
God.
Did he make... You think he made everybody call him Jeffrey?
No, but isn't there a story? Like, there's an actual story to where Jeffrey came from, right? I don't remember.
I don't know.
When I was at Toys R Us this weekend to see what was
Left.
What was going on?
Yeah.
The sale's not that good yet.
Yeah.
I know, that
there was a
sounds
bunch
terrible.
of storybooks about the story of Jeffrey, and I was like,
The story of Jeffrey.
yeah, I was like, I don't care. to
Like,
look
is it
this
a
up.
Bible
No,
section?
it was like one of those like golden books you read to like
Okay.
kids. And I was like, I know this. But
This is sad, though.
It is sad.
You gotta
And
make it in memoriam for companies. There goes Radio Shack.
they do.
Circuit
At the end of the
City.
year, there'll be an article on Yahoo News that says the stores that closed this year, and it's becoming more and more...
well,
It's happening more and more.
it's what I mean in our lifetime at least you've seen
Circuit City.
Circuit City, Radio Shack, Mervyn's, Sears is on its last breath.
Yeah.
Macy's is closing
Kmart.
stores.
Yeah, Toys R Us, KB Toys.
Yeah. Although, in the same article that said that Toys R Us is closing, they said that there's a new business model for KB Toys to possibly keep open some of the bigger stores or hire some of the people. Because you think if Toys R Us adjusted their price point and had a smaller footprint, they'd
Maybe.
probably be able to stay around longer.
Yeah, if they really consolidate, yeah.
Because the stores are huge. But our store that was close to us was always busy. Always. There was always people in there. So
Well,
I'm
just
really...
think about what's in the store. They have food in there. They have baby food. They have.
Well, yeah, and it's the entire line. So your Babies R Us. What's the other store they had? They had Babies. They had Toys R Us, and then they had
Tacos.
Teenagers R Us or something.
like toddlers. Maybe, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
They had different age groups, but
I thought it was just Babies R Us and Toys R Us.
maybe I'm wrong.
Our Toys R Us is kind of busy, but it's not like when you go into Walmart.
No.
That's freaking...
Well, and
Well,
those
that's
box
like a
stores are
yard
definitely a contributing factor. They're definitely changing how we shop.
Yeah.
I mean, even Walmart's adapting to meet what Amazon Prime is doing.
Yeah.
Now they're offering free 2-day shipping with no membership.
Well, I mean, I bought a board game today, and I feel bad. I'd rather buy local and stuff and buy out of smaller shops, but I paid $5 to have same day shipping because it was Katrina's birthday. Happy birthday, Katrina!
Oh, yay.
And it was still, with that shipping, $7 cheaper to buy it online than it was to drive to the store, and game stores aren't everywhere,
No,
to go get the game.
I mean, and where's really the best game store in town? You got a place up on Claremont Mesa. You have
Game
Game Town in Old Town.
Is Game Town still there? Game Empire is the one I
Game
called.
Empire, yeah.
But there's what's that game store called that we went to?
Oh, the one with the bar?
Yeah.
Is that the one next to Mysterious Galaxy? Oh, you're talking about the one on Miramar, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's huge and it's attached to a bar,
My roommate's friend, she hosts trivia night there one of those nights.
Nice.
We should all go.
I
And
just
they
want to
have
go play my
crush
board
it.
game at the bar.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay,
I'd love
we'll
to
have
crush some trivia and play some board games.
That'd be fun. We should do
I
that.
don't know anything, so I just sit there and drink.
Yeah, but you know stuff I don't know. Like I always lose because I have a small team and I never know anything about Friends or yeah, Friends.
You don't know. You don't need me.
Friends.
I don't watch
Scrubs.
that show. I watch Scrubs.
Futurama.
You watch
spent
Futurama.
a lot of money at a store at a board game recently. Barnes & Nobles. You hooked them up.
That
Yeah.
was online still, though.
They got the credit.
That was also $20 cheaper than suggested retail price,
Yeah.
and it was the only store that had Gloomhaven
That
in
nobody
stock.
else was buying from.
Well, even when stores try and shift to that, like remember when Blockbuster tried to compete with Netflix with their DVDs
Mail-in order,
mail-in
right.
thing. Well, and Hollywood Video also went the same way. They tried turning into a game store, and then that really didn't.
Game Rave? Was that what it's called?
Game Crazy?
Game Crazy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I left Hollywood Video by the time, but I still look back on that job and think, man, that was a great job. I did nothing and got away with it.
That's funny. You worked at Hollywood Video, and I worked at KB Toys.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You worked at the one...
Santee.
Santee, yeah. A few friends in high school that worked at the one in Alpine. That's how I got my Silent Screamers, my Nosferatu.
wait, there was a KB Toys in
It was a small-
Alpine.
really small one, yeah. It was at the outlet mall of
The Santee one was huge.
Yeah.
No, that was a fun job because when we got bored, we would just open up toys and you play with them, and it's
Yeah.
it's for showing customers what the toys are. I played Bop It for like 2 hours at the front door one time.
I used to play pranks on people. So I worked at the 2nd Street one that's now a charter high school.
Yeah.
Oddly enough. And it's so weird because I drive by there and I'm like, I remember when somebody finger painted the walls with poop in there.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
Yeah.
that's terrible.
And they asked me to clean that up and I was like, nope. I'm 16, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Ugh.
But
My brother checked out Lord of the Rings from there.
Yeah.
Under my membership when we had it,
did he give you late fees?
and he never returned it. So I got turned in. I didn't know it because I didn't rent anything there. So I got turned into collections.
You gotta call me, man. I would have hooked it up. I was.
It was at that one too.
Yeah, because I was always like, oh, you're renting a cool movie? I'll make some of these late fees disappear. Or if you took my recommendation on a movie, I'd be like, I know it's a leap, but you'll really like this movie. But if I really want you to see this movie, so I was really passionate about movies.
The kids will love Pulp
I
Fiction.
I might scan this and make like.
Navy SEAls.
Yeah, I used to pull all sorts of pranks and like swap movies. Back in the VHS, I'd switch the boxes or.
You're going to watch this instead.
Well, so they would. I'm dating myself. So before IMDb, it was still a website. It was called the Internet Movie Database. They published a book, and that's how you get the people that would be like, "You got the movie with like the guy that came out like this year," and I'd be like, "Yeah, hold on." So I get this big like phone book out, and I'd be like, "All right." Yeah, is it maybe this one? Okay, all right.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's the reason why I know like names of movies and like when somebody like asks a really obscure question and I'm like, I think I know what you're talking about. It's probably because you get questions like that all the time.
So you were
Did they-
basically Randall.
I was, but I wasn't
Cool?
an adult. Yeah. So I couldn't, take girls back in the room. I was a nerdy high schooler.
Did they put that book out every year? Like a phone book?
Yeah. So every year they'd have an updated...
So you... Wow.
That's a long time to go between updates with how many movies came out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you have any...
New releases were easy to keep track of. It was the older ones.
Right.
Do you remember when Toys R Us had the video game room? Where it was like you went to the video game aisle and it was just the cover art of the game and a slip of paper, and you had to take it to the room that was filled with video games.
Oh my!
And they had to
Did it
pull
have
the
like a
video
mail
game
slot?
out. Well, it was like a movie theater where there's the glass and you talk through the little hole, and then they would hand you the game, and that's where I got
You're our age, right?
No.
30.
Okay,
He's a little younger.
He may not remember because I was really young and I vaguely remember. Do you remember Christmas catalogs?
Yeah.
So you get the catalog, be like, "What do you want for Christmas?" Circle what you
everything,
want.
yeah.
Well, they still do that. Well, Toys R Us still did that. Mails does.
Target started doing it a couple years ago.
Oh, they did.
I remember getting my NES from Sears, and
I got my PlayStation 1 from Sears.
Yeah.
I mean,
Never got
obviously, that's not as old.
I was such a loser. So I had an NES, and that NES lasted me until 1999.
Wow.
I did not get any other system, so if I played anything else on any other generation of systems, it was
Somebody else's house?
staying at someone else's house or like borrowing it from them. I didn't get a PlayStation 1 until like 2000.
My dad lived in...
2001 PlayStation 2
98.
came
No, I
out.
take it wrong. 98. I was in 8th grade when I finally made the switch.
My dad lives in Texas, or he lived in Texas when I was a kid, and he asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I didn't see him very often, but he'd
Yeah.
always give me something, for Christmas, birthday. And I asked for a PlayStation, so he sent me exactly what it costs.
Not taking
Not
tax
taking into account tax.
or
Right.
game.
So we went to the Sears video game store because they had their own video game section that was like almost like a GameStop back in the day. And I got my PlayStation there, but I didn't have enough money for tax. So my grandparents raised me and said, he's like, go ahead, I'll pay for it, pick out a game, whatever game you want. And the first PlayStation game I bought was Oddworld.
Ah, that's a great game.
Yeah, great fun game. And then my uncle, who didn't like his PlayStation, sold his PlayStation but kept the games, and he gave me Doom that came in the cardboard box.
Okay,
It didn't
Final
come-
Doom.
It was Doom 2 and Ultimate Doom.
Oh, nice.
So I played the shit out of those games.
So when I got mine, it was a birthday present, and I got one game, and the only game that I could really afford with the console and a controller and a memory card.
Intelligence Cube.
No, that came free with the
Demo.
My grandparents got me a subscription to the PlayStation Underground magazine.
Yeah.
That's the one with the demo disc that would come
Yeah.
every month. And I just had the demo on that. It was.
I think I got Wild Arms from that.
It was
I think
it was this Incredible Hulk game that was really bad. It was where you fought like the UFOs. It was a really dumb, bad game. It was just it's early, but I remember my neighbor. He got Final Fantasy VII shortly after it came out.
Uh-huh.
The next day, he was like, "This game sucks. Do you want it? I'll sell it to you for $20." And
Oh
I was
my
like,
goodness.
Who says that shit in 1997 or 1998? This
An
shit
asshole.
That's so fucking...
Clearly, he
Corey's
wasn't.
gonna travel back in time to kill. Right
Clearly, he wasn't. Well,
If you-
I took advantage of it. I was
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
it's
sure,
sweet.
okay."
Feeling like RPGs, when you turn it on, it's fucking fully 3D graphic. Like, just the CG on that.
Are you
like,
personally offended right now?
That's so funny because that's like a cultural like milestone. I was like, Ocarina of Time. Fuck this game. Fuck.
Well, I mean, to second that, I had a kid down the street whose name was Corey. I remember trying to...
I remember that.
Yeah, you remember that. He was going to trade me A Link to the Past for some game because he didn't like it. And I was like, hell yeah, I'll take
Dumbass.
a Zelda game.
Yeah,
And his mom wouldn't let him trade.
yeah.
And I was like, man...
I remember when I was a kid. I traded NES games. I traded some game I didn't like, POW, or some game I'd beaten a bunch of times that I just didn't play anymore. Traded that, and he gave me in exchange Friday the 13th, DuckTales, and Batman.
Damn.
And I don't care what anyone says. Like that Friday the 13th game was great.
It was. And that
That's the
Batman...
first game I ever beat.
That Batman game was the one that was like, every time it started, it sounded like it was broken. It was like...
That was a good game.
Yeah,
too.
it was.
And DuckTales is
One of the
fun.
best.
It's catchy, man.
I gotta make full circle real quick.
Sure.
The last game I remember, it could have been my first game I remember buying at that video game glass room was, I was a huge Toe Jam and Earl fan. But I bought Toe Jam and Earl 2 Battle of Funkatron.
Oh, that game was bad.
It was bad. It was so terrible. And that's the last game I remember buying at that little video game room.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a bad game.
What was the first game you remember playing on a home console? What was the first one you owned?
Well, my dad bought me my Nintendo as well. I had visited him in Texas, and he was playing it.
Yeah.
And then I loved it so much, he got me one in the mail. So it had to have been a Nintendo game.
Yeah. You started with NES, right?
I started with NES.
What did you start with?
NES/Atari. I couldn't tell you. I had them both as far as I can remember.
But one of my, like I was a bigger Sega Genesis fan than any system at the time. Like I love playing Altered Beast, and Kid Chameleon at this point is still one of my all-time favorite games.
Wonder Boy 3.
And what else? There was a DuckTales game. I think it was called Quackshot. Where you
played as Donald Duck.
Yeah, and you shot plungers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to play that game all the time. But there was an error like towards the end of the game that it would freeze and it would erase everything. And I was like, I never beat it because it would just. I mean, those cartridges were finicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not.
And we were dumb enough to think blowing on them would do something.
Right?
It still works. I blow on discs all the time. Old techniques never die.
Yeah. What's the first game you ever beat?
Beat? I don't know. It have to be some NES game.
I can't remember the first one I beat.
I don't think I beat any of the Marios.
No Game Genie. No Game Genie.
Fucking not Battletoads, tell you that.
Fucking Contra?
Maybe Omega Man? I don't know. I feel like
Omega Man? What's Omega Man?
It's a movie with Charlton Heston. Based on
one of the Mega Mans. Because that one, at least, you can type in the code to get, like, you unlock how far you were, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what was a really hard game was Comic Zone on Sega. I think it was on Sega and Super Nintendo. That was a hard-ass game. At least as a kid, I remember it being hard.
Cool fight mechanic, though.
Yeah, and you would hop through the pages and stuff.
Yeah.
It was really cool
I loved the art
artistically.
style. I had the Sega Channel for, like, a hot minute.
Yeah.
And I played that on the Sega Channel. And then...
By the way, Game Genie ruined games. Like, well, not only that, but, like, when on GameCube, we used to play Animal Crossing a lot.
Yeah.
And me and Eric Galactus, he's another guy that's on the podcast occasionally.
Eric used to live with back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How's he been? Not to...
He's okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's alive.
I can make fun of him on here, but he listens too, so I'll just...
nice today.
I'll be nice today.
Hi, Eric.
But we used to play Animal Crossing all the time, and then they had a cheat thing for it that could give you like 999,000 bells, and it just ruined the game. You could get all the hidden games like Excite Bike and all that, and then once you cheat, it ruins everything.
It could ruin that game. That game's about collecting and building up a stash, but if you can just unlock it all, the game itself has no point.
Yeah.
But Game Genie didn't ruin, like, Battletoads. You can play past the third level and not see all the awesome levels, like, later on without Game Genie. So.
Do you remember how you would, like back in the day, you would learn... It's not like you could look on the internet and look for codes. My cousin on Sonic 2, he's like, I know the anything code. Did you ever know the anything code? Where you could turn into coins, make a bunch of coins, and then turn back into Sonic and jump and get the coins. So you would never have to fight a boss without coins.
Okay.
And if you got hurt, you could just turn back into the coin again. So he's like, only like 10 people in the world know this code, so you have to keep it a secret. So I knew the anything code.
To be fair, there are also bad and wrong codes that would go around too. You remember those? Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I got the and if you do this, this, and this, it'll cause this to happen. Oh, you're not doing it right. Like I swear, I had an uncle that worked at Nintendo who told me this.
Yeah.
You know.
I tell you, this one thing that happened, and this was back when there were family fun centers.
Okay.
This is preteen boys and not having like the access to porn now that everybody has access to. So he said that he won a game at Family Fun Center that when he got it home was an interactive porno. And we were of course everybody's like, we gotta go over to your house, we gotta see, we gotta see. And he was like, no, I don't want to get in trouble, Then you're like, you want to see it. As an adult, you're like, that guy was so full of shit.
Yes, he was.
That motherfucker was trying to pull one over on everybody. His name was...
Don't call.
Yeah, I won't call him out. But his name was... Well, I won't say his last name. His name was Nathaniel.
John Doe.
And he said it was called... I remember he said it was called Squeeze Play. And now, as an adult, I'm just like...
Have you Googled it? To see
This
if
motherfucker...
Have you made sure it doesn't exist?
We played some weird...
Kids aren't going to be finding... I don't know about you if you had the same coming of age that I had that most boys
Scrambled porn?
Scrambled porn on the cable box, and sometimes you get the occasional like mistake where they send you the free weekend and you're like, holy crap, I'm videotaping this and showing it to all my friends. Or it was finding Playboys out in the woods.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen anymore.
No, none of that shit happens
too
anymore.
easy.
They just
Yeah.
go on their phone and
Just out in the woods.
I had a thing on my
That was back when you would play out in the woods.
yeah. I had a thing on my VCR where you could hit a button on it, and then hit a button again, and it would play just that part that you froze on. So if there was like a sex scene in a movie, you could start it and then end it, and it would just loop it.
Oh, God.
So if you're watching,
That's
like,
all you need.
if you were just watching like a regular movie that had a sex scene in it, you were like, yeah.
Do you remember the point when you started looking at girls as not icky and gross?
I can't recall that particular moment.
That-
I still kind of look at Katrina like
Yeah.
she's a bag of
That was
crap.
like- that happens.
That's very true.
Maybe I'm weird
And
for
I can
this,
tell.
but I remember the exact moment. It was June 1992. I saw Batman Returns and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. I immediately went,
Wow.
"There's something about women."
Chop.
Like, yeah, like I am now a man.
You went in a boy, came out a man.
Yeah, the Penguin did that for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was the
Same
penguin
movie.
I was the penguin for Halloween one year, not Batman. I was the penguin. Yeah, and I had one of these.
Good
Francis
choice.
Toboggan,
There used to
penguin.
be these balls that you could get that were cloth on the outside, but you could blow up a balloon inside of them, so the balloon wouldn't
They're like
pop.
a punching bag, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I blew that up inside of these Batman pajamas I had, and then I had this penguin mask that had like these jowls that hung off of it.
Okay.
And that's what I was for Halloween one year. There's a picture that's still
It's
around.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a little top hat.
Cute. Did you have a little cigarette?
No, I was smoking meth at the time, so
Go home.
So
I had my
crack
meth pipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No,
No.
Don't do meth, kids. Not even once.
it's not funny.
More than once.
Not even once.
Well, isn't that the campaign now?
Is it?
Yeah, it's not even once.
You don't say try it until you.
Well,
If
they
you
say
don't like
meth
it.
is like harder to kick than anything, almost, right? Well, heroin.
Well, when they give it away and they make them go fight on the street.
Well, so meth.
It's gonna take a weird turn here.
It is gonna take a weird.
Should we just take a few steps backwards?
From
not
what
bad.
people have told me in my line of work, meth feels really, really good. You feel really, really good when you're on it, but it's not quite as physically addicting as heroin. People that stay on heroin mostly are a slave to it. One, for the feeling, the chasing the dragon, and two, fear of withdrawals.
Okay.
The withdrawal symptoms from heroin are
Catastrophic,
notoriously. I mean, we've all seen that scene from Train Spotting that kind of dramatizes it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's no similar to that. It doesn't kill you like withdrawing from some other meds do, but they make you wish you did.
Mm-hmm.
So
You see dead babies on the ceiling and shit.
This is an uplifting episode.
Yeah.
It was really going good, too, guys.
we can talk about poop again.
It's ruined it.
No.
No.
Y'all shit it out.
I saw...
You want to talk something equally horrible?
I don't know. What are you going to say?
Is Steven Spielberg announced Indiana Jones 5 production start date?
Why is that bad?
Is Harrison Ford Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is Shia LaBeouf in it?
He's,
I don't know.
I, for the record, and all
Harrison
these...
Ford is 75. He'll be 76 when they're shooting. He'll be 78 when the movie comes out.
Yeah, Sean Connery did movies up until...
Yeah, but he's gonna be the
Up
action.
until the movie that just
They
kind
just need to let him
of killed his
stand
confidence.
He's
Give him
gonna-
deliver
Yeah,
his lines.
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That's the last movie he did, right?
I don't want to...
Was
I
it?
wasn't... I thought it was Finding Forrester.
No, I think it's League.
It's
I could be
League.
wrong. Or at least, I mean, I've heard from him.
you
knowing
could be
that.
right.
You know,
yeah.
he was up for Gandalf, right? And they were going to offer him a
He
certain
didn't know what it
percentage
was.
of the overall gross,
Yeah.
and he didn't get it.
I'm glad they went...
No, I am too. But
Yeah.
they said he lost hundreds of millions of dollars by not signing that deal.
Indiana Jones and the hip replacement.
Stop it.
That's tough, man. Because I love Indiana Jones, and you'd like them to take another shot at redemption because the last one wasn't very good.
I was all gung ho for 4.
So was
but
I.
4.
I was...
And it had its moments.
I was going home, and it did have its moments, but I think
Too much
the
Lucas.
movies don't work today. They're a throwback to the adventure movies, of the adventure serials of the 30s and 40s.
Well, you know they're going to keep
I
trying
will
to
watch
push.
it. They can put it out.
I'm still
as much
gonna
as they
watch
want
it,
to.
yeah.
They're
but
going to keep trying to put out Uncharted. I mean, Tom
It'll
Holland
happen.
signed up to be Nathan Drake. A young Nathan Drake, obviously,
And a
but
short one at that.
I like Tom Holland.
We're
I
talking
do too.
game. We're talking games, or are they doing a movie?
They're doing a
They're gonna
movie.
do a movie.
At one point, there was rumored that Bruce Campbell was going to be Sully, which I would have. I'd just go see him, but he's as much as we love him, he's not an A-list actor, and he never will be, and he knows it.
And he's okay
Yes,
with that.
but watch how he plays Sam Max in Burn Notice, and it's very similar to like.
As much as I love him, I've never seen a single minute of Burn Notice.
Oh, it's good.
It's a USA show.
Bruce Campbell aside, it's not a bad show.
But I've never seen a good USA show.
And that guy's got an asshole face.
That guy does have an asshole face. What's the guy?
Jeffrey Donovan?
Is that his name?
Sure, whatever his
The
name is.
guy from Burn Notice?
He's never coming on the podcast.
Oh, he's
Just because you
he's
have
got a
asshole
show
face
on,
doesn't mean you're not nice.
he's got a show on Hulu, Shut Eye. It's really good.
I don't have Hulu.
And he was in the second season of Fargo, and he was really awesome in that too.
I haven't seen any
Watch it
Fargo.
either.
We need to finish.
Bruce
Peaky
Campbell was
Blinders.
in the
Yes.
second season of Fargo. He plays Ronald Reagan.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell was in Cars too.
He was a secret agent.
Yeah,
He was also in Sky High, because you like talking about Sky High.
yeah.
Good movie.
Gym teacher man.
Yeah.
I seen something.
Is that his official name?
It was Sonic
Coach Boomer.
Boom.
Yeah. I seen some storyboards from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4, which never got
Yeah.
made.
Yeah.
And one of the storyboards was like Spider-Man's introduction to the movie. He's arresting like Mysterio. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point in time, they take the dome off his head.
Is Bruce
And
Campbell?
it was Bruce Campbell.
That's excellent.
And I was like, that would have completed like I don't know if he was gonna be Mysterio all along. His character, one of his characters in that movie.
How well do you remember Darkman?
I've never seen it,
Oh,
so I don't remember very
Bruce
well.
Campbell's in at the very end of that. He was in the last.
Well, he
screen
was
of-
supposed to be Darkman, right? But they didn't want him, and
They
it was
wanted him to
Liam
go
Neeson,
there.
right?
Yeah, so he plays
What was the last
he fake
scene?
shimps it. The last scene is where Liam Neeson's walking away, and then he turns, and it's not his face; it's Bruce Campbell, and then he walks back.
That
again.
rings a bell.
Yeah,
I have a list of shame. Everybody does.
yeah.
What's a movie off the top of your head that you know you should have seen but you haven't?
I have a list. I've been making a list. There's a YouTube show I watch where it's kind of one of those.
You should have watched this.
Yeah, it's this guy. This has been his New Year's resolution is to like watch these movies.
Uh-huh.
Like I should watch them. I love movies. I just haven't yet. And
I want to watch Raging Bull. That's a De Niro, right? I've never seen
it's
it.
De Niro. It's Scorsese. It's
Well,
good.
Citizen Kane.
I have seen that. Yeah,
Never seen it.
Yeah,
Nope.
we both are that bad.
That's
I
a lot.
bought.
I can see. I like.
Doctor Strangelove.
It's
I've
a
never
really
seen
good
Dr.
movie,
Strangelove.
but it does get hyped quite a bit, and people that see it and don't like it, I can see why you wouldn't like it.
What?
Citizen Kane.
Oh.
It's a polarizing
Film buffs love it.
I mean, it is really incredible what Orson Welles did at like such a young age with this, and the controversy that goes behind that movie as well.
was that his
at the
first
same time-
thing right after like doing radio?
Right off the bat, yep.
Yeah.
His first thing becomes this iconic, and then of course behind the scenes you have what was inspired by the main character, William Randolph Hearst, and him trying to shut down RKO Pictures. So this
William
movie doesn't
Randolph
get-
Hearst.
Yeah, Hearst Castle.
You know that Chris Hardwick is married to a Hearst.
Okay.
Lydia Hearst.
Yeah, and Patty Hearst was kidnapped by the Symbionese Liberation
Was
Army,
she
and then later
terrorist?
indoctrinated.
What?
What, you don't?
Did I not know about this? Do you know about
A
this?
Hearst was a terrorist.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah.
They did a huge
I
documentary
don't
on
pretend
CNN.
to be
I don't
intelligent.
No, but I mean, it's definitely when pop culture makes jokes about it, like it's you can consider it like common knowledge.
Uh-huh.
It's not like an obscure fact. I mean, it happened in the 70s, right? It was 79.
Oh, I don't know. CNN did a big old special on it. I wanted to watch it, but that's
Yeah.
on the list of things behind other things.
There's always something. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're behind. I really want to watch Jessica Jones, the second season of Jessica Jones, because I've watched all those. Are you still watching Punisher?
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. I want to watch the second season of Jessica Jones, but we still have 2 seasons of Peaky Blinders to watch, or a season and a half.
I'm 2
We're on
episodes
third
in.
We're on the third season.
Peaky Blinders?
No, I'm 2 episodes in Jessica Jones. It's like every Netflix show. It starts slow, but they get better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I got stuff I got to do. I can't.
Punisher started fast, like really fast, and then it slowed
Didn't
down
slow
real fast.
way much.
Well, that prologue was quick, but that was.
How far are you into the show?
4, 5, 6 episodes. I don't know.
Okay, so about halfway through then.
That's
Yeah.
a broad range.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
It's been
9,
over a
10.
week since I watched an episode, and I watched 2 back to back one night. I can't remember.
Which ones they were?
I immediately fell asleep as soon as it ended.
Are you a big Punisher fan?
Like the show's pretty good. Like as in terms of character wise,
Yeah.
like I'm not a diehard.
I was gonna say you haven't read a lot of it, so
No.
the twist that comes will be a bit of a surprise to you then.
Okay. It's in the comic, is that what?
No, it's just one of those, like, if you read the comic and then they mention this person's name on the second episode, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I know what's going to happen now.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and he doesn't have a huge list of... Like Spider-Man has this huge...
Canon.
There's so many villains.
All of his villains are organized crime people.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's
not like
the big names are Kingpin and, the Silvermane, like the two big families that he's always going up against.
So, I mean, there's not like
there was that issue where he killed Stiltman. That was pretty funny.
I have
I hate Stiltman.
You have the what if the symbiote attached itself to Frank Castle, and he just goes around as like Venom Punisher, just fucking.
This is during the Lethal Protector
shooting symbiote bullets at people and just.
This is during the Lethal Protector era.
Probably,
yeah.
It was probably around that time.
I stopped reading Punisher when they did this. They killed him and then they made him Frankencastle.
I've never even.
It was
that sounds awful.
Really dumb. Yeah.
I mean, that's a cool name, but that sounds awful.
That's where it ends.
You're like, okay, this is just jumping into like lunacy, but it is a damn good show, and that final fight, I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, what part of it was like one of those moments where you're watching and you're like, ah! I think I already told you about it.
I can't remember you making that face.
Yeah.
Well, actually, for me, it was more like it was less cringe and more like good. Like do it again.
Yeah,
but, like harder.
But
like harder.
Yeah,
that was rough to watch. That's like whenever you see something like, however you feel about the Saw franchise. I didn't watch all of them. I watched the first couple. But when the person had to cut out their own like eye to get the key behind their eye to unlock the whatever they needed to unlock that situation. Anytime it comes with like eyes and stuff close to the eye and like.
Don't ever watch any Lucio Fulci movies.
No, I won't. Yeah. I know. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen the glass and the...
Yeah, he has a huge thing for like long drawn out eye gouge scenes in his movies. He's an Italian horror maker. Like Italian...
Made Zombie, right?
Yeah, Zombie. Yeah. All these like late 70s, early 80s, gory as hell, really cool like makeup effects and just cheesy like American dub acting and really gory. Yeah, he did that. The Beyond.
Never.
Yeah.
You're much. I mean, we all love movies, but you're a few steps further than we are.
I love horror. Yeah.
How do you like Star Wars?
It's good, not great. Like
it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
You didn't watch in theaters?
No, I watched it in the comfort of my own home without...
Those are movies you should watch in theaters, though, because you get the crowd with you.
And it's like you're a kid. Or that's how
when you have the little music when Lucasfilms comes up.
It still gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
It still that makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, but home theater technology has gotten to such a point.
Come a long way.
I got great sound and I have a big TV, like, I got a recliner, like, what more do I want?
A kid kicking the back of your seat?
Don't have
I can tell you that
I got my dog. I got my dog sitting on my lap like a big doofus.
We watch a lot more movies now. I that's the one thing I missed when we had the boys is that we used to go to the movies all the time. Now I go to the movies, I'm like my back hurts in this stupid chair that's not very comfortable. But we see movies all the time now because we try to keep up to date with this. And we haven't talked about a movie-specific episode in a while, but coming up with like we said, like Deadpool and Solo, and we're going to see Ready Player One. Yeah, it's going to be busy. We already have our Avengers tickets. I mean...
That's why I got the movie pass, is hopefully to reignite my love for going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
I went... A couple years ago, there was that Guillermo del Toro movie with Loki in it. Crimson Peak, I think was what it was called.
I didn't see it.
It was a Halloween movie. I went on a date, and it was just a cramped theater, and the dude next to me like fell asleep. And, like his head keeps like landing on my shoulder, and I'm like, dude,
that's messed up.
It is messed up. It's like those experiences that I hated. I mean,
did you see Kong Skull Island? You said Tom Hiddleston, so
I did not see it.
I enjoyed that movie so much. It was just like you ever just go to a movie. It's not the best movie, but it's just a fun movie. Yeah, exactly. It's just a fun movie. I liked it a lot.
I watched the guy in front of me on the plane watch it.
Like you watched him watch the movie. You watched it over his shoulder.
It was there, and like I would look up between pages, and you'd see it, and you're like, oh, okay, that looks interesting.
No. Brian swears by Godzilla, and I watched like 30 minutes of it, and I turned it off, and I meant to pick it back up.
Bryan Cranston one?
Yeah. I heard it was really good.
I heard it was too.
I liked it.
Well, those two movies they're in the same vein. I mean, they're in the
Monster
same.
movies.
Well, they're at the end of.
You don't watch.
Well, they've already announced that they're doing
gonna
like a
try
huge
and-
like there's Mothra and all those monsters and stuff. But at the end of Kong Skull Island, you hear that.
Oh, you mean they're not going to put Kong in the shared Universal Monsters universe with the Mummy and...
That's nobody's in that universe anymore. They canceled it.
For sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Does
they
everything
canceled
need
it.
to have a shared universe? I mean...
Maybe it's just tabled for now.
It's cool when you see. I mean, but like
That's,
Marvel owns everything at this point.
Right, and Universal owns... Do you really need to have a shared... Just make like something like Monster Squad or House of
Never seen it.
Frankenstein. You've never seen Monster Squad?
No, he's never have.
Ooh.
Yeah, Brian.
you can't-
Brian keeps trying to get me to watch it, and since he wants me to watch it so bad,
He does not
I
want to
don't
watch it
wanna
that
watch
much
it.
more.
All right.
think
I'm
we're-
not going to push you to it, but like, if
gonna
I
be-
was to make an analogy, it's like a lower budget Goonies.
With horror.
We're already not sold.
You're not a Goonies.
I like Goonies,
I like
but
Goonies.
people swearing it's the end all be all
No,
of
no.
80s movies.
No,
It's
no,
not.
no,
You're fucking not gonna like it if you
no.
watch it like that. If you go in expecting kids cussing and then fucking werewolves they show up in Dracula.
The thing is a lot of times when you have
You got to kick Wolfman in the nards.
a love
I feel like
for
that's
movies,
so quotable.
Yeah.
Just real saying
just
My
that.
because
name
you
is
love a
Boris.
movie as a kid, if like I tried to show Brian Army of Darkness because I love that movie, but when you try to get somebody to watch as an adult that never watched it when they were younger, that's
Yeah.
kind of like
That's
Well,
this
nostalgia
cheesy,
goggles.
hokey.
We all get blinded by those.
Yeah.
I mean, not to pivot back, but you're on. How far are you in Peaky Blinders?
Season 3.
Season 3.
How good is that show, man? It's
Great.
It's great.
Were you watching it last time we talked?
Yeah. Sam Neill. How rad is he in that show?
Except for his accent.
His accent, the first couple episodes caught me off guard because
Yeah.
he was not. He didn't have it
good.
down yet. Well, when Andrew Lincoln as Rick, that first season of Walking Dead, his accent was just like. But no, Sam Neill was good. How far are you in it? Did you finish it?
I'm an episode into season 4.
Okay, so you're
since
further
season
than
four
I am.
just-
Further than
Yeah.
us.
So
And season 4 just, I think, a couple months ago.
Evil Dead 2.
It's 1, 2, and 3 all wrapped up into a little musical.
1
That's
and
cool.
2 are basically the same movie. They couldn't condense
I will argue. I will. So I disagree with that. Okay, the first 10 minutes is a recap. It's not a remake. It is a recap bringing you up to speed. He's
In
not.
case you didn't watch the first
it.
one.
Is the
Yeah.
character supposed to be a different character? Ash,
Ash and Linda. Yeah, his girlfriend's always been Linda. It just cuts out the periphery, like Stevie, his sister Cheryl.
I haven't watched the first two in so long, I don't remember.
the
Two's probably my favorite
First
of the
one a little
three.
hazy. 2's like the standard for me.
Yeah,
and then
two's-
3 becomes like it's my favorite, but 3 becomes like the wacky older brother
Yeah,
type to it.
I think 2 is the nice, the right mix.
Yeah,
And
dark
where
humor
does the show sit for you?
and creepy.
The show is
Great.
Great.
It is.
All good things must end, and when that thing ends, I will be sad, but I will also be satisfied that we.
Got
for
it.
the longest time, we've been told you're never going to get an Evil Dead 4. The closest thing you're going to get is the remake, and then
Was the remake good? I heard it was actually pretty good.
the remake is good, but it's not Evil Dead.
I heard it's a rough watch because it's pretty graphic.
You would probably have a hard time,
Yeah.
like when you get like kind of cringy with some of that
Uh-huh.
stuff. I think the opening sequence, the cold open for the remake, is awesome.
Is there something about eyes? Because I could deal with everything else.
No, but there's some long, drawn out.
Where do you sit on Green Inferno? Have you seen that?
I have not, but I've seen all those other like Mondo
Mm-hmm.
movies and stuff that it's kind of an homage to.
Because everybody says that
The
Green
Cannibal
Inferno is
Holocaust.
like the one that's like you watch it and you feel uncomfortable. So
Oh man, I've seen so much real and fake gore that like,
yeah.
nothing does it for me. Like nothing surprises me.
you got a freebase moon rocks to get your.
Not even that.
Does anybody know what that is a reference to? They were doing
Isn't that the Aqua Teen?
No, they were doing a intervention on The Simpsons, and it was Krusty, and he's like, "You don't want to be like me. The only high I can get now is freebase and moon rocks," and he's like, fucking smoking moon rocks.
Do you keep up with that show?
No, not anymore. I haven't watched Simpsons in about 3 years. I mean, I know that's more recent than most people have stopped watching.
So I stopped watching like probably around 2002, and then I picked it back up once FX launched that app,
Oh yeah,
and they did that
Marathon?
first marathon, and I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe this would be a good time for me to like. So I started beginning again, and it took me about a year to catch up, and it was like season 27 at the time.
uh huh.
And yeah, there are some duds, but there are some like hidden gems in there. That...
I caught one recently, and I don't know how old it is, but like I said, I didn't stop watching that long ago.
Yeah.
But there was one where it was...
I think the Boyhood episode was good.
There was a flashback of Homer and Marge throughout the years, and it was Homer in different musical parts of his life, and there was like the grunge one, there was like that was a good episode, and I just happened to catch it.
Yeah.
And I liked that episode a lot.
It's just crazy that it's approaching its 30th season.
Yeah.
And so last night's episode was basically another one of those, what we were like before we had the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically now Bart's 10 years old, so they're doing flashbacks to 2008, and I'm like, oh gosh, like, I mean, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard when in the 90s all they were doing were flashbacks to the late 70s, and
yeah, you're getting older.
We are getting older.
And I said you.
Time and tide, wait for no man.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Her brother called her to tell her happy birthday today, and I could hear the phone being like, "Your husband, I saw a picture of him on Facebook. He's going great." It's like, yeah, I fucking got 2 kids. They're sucking the goddamn life out of me.
Isn't that what they do, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
They take
But
everything.
like, my dad went gray in
and
his
more.
teens.
I think actually Succubus does that.
Isn't that how you make kids, though, is with a succubus? Isn't that what you tell kids where babies come from? Succubus comes in at the middle of the night and sucks the life force out of you. And
I think that's a prostitute.
maybe there's a banshee in there. I don't know.
You ever watch the show Banshee?
No, I've heard you talk about it on here.
It's good.
Yeah,
Good.
Except we're in the last season, we're just kind of like
checked out.
not. The last season
It's
was not good. But you know, when you invest the time into a show, even if the one season it's like Dexter.
I hate that because you're like, I've already sunk this much time into it. I just want to see where this crazy ride ends.
You watched Dexter? Did we talk about this?
I did.
Some of those seasons are some of the best television. Period.
Season 2, I think, is the pinnacle of that show. And
Which John Lithgow season?
Finally,
Are you ever going to watch this
Netflix.
show? We can't talk spoilers, can we then?
No, we
Don't
can't.
go crazy.
Okay.
But I love
You've
the
seen
era.
one season.
The era that it's in, you know, I'm a big fan of World War One.
Mm-hmm.
I love that period of history. I love reading.
They deal
about
with PTSD a lot in that show.
They do a lot quite
Yeah.
well, and the stuff that's going on with, like, you know, season 1, it's going on in the background. You have the Easter Revolution. You have the IRA Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
like all that cool stuff going on. Season 3, like, I think kind of the big historical thing that's happening in the background is the Bolshevik, the Civil War with the Reds and the
We
Whites.
just started it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are.
So you
We
saw the
watched
dude
one
that had playing
episode.
Churchill, right? And
Didn't we?
We're like two episodes into the 3rd season.
yeah,
We're gonna catch up on a lot of stuff this week because I have 2 weeks off.
yeah.
So, other than
You should not be tired.
I'm still always tired.
Nah, it's
Always tired.
just getting old.
Yeah.
Just
And
getting
then you
old.
die.
I took a nap yesterday. It felt great.
We went to WonderCon yesterday. I gotta give a shout out. If you want some cool artwork, there's a guy that his Instagram I'm sure is called Human Tree Robot, and he did those. I could post pictures on Twitter so people know what I'm talking about. He did those 2 trees over there, but I gotta show you guys this picture we got yesterday. He does paintings on wood.
Oh, that is really cool.
Yeah, and I'll explain it to our listeners. It's like an old school cinema, and it's like just like empty around it. It's got one of those old school like marquees up, and it says Star Wars, and it has the director. But he had this for. Let me walk back over here. He had one for Alien. He had one for a couple different like classic movies.
Rear Window.
Rear Window was on there. That has those old school. But yeah, Human Tree Robot. You can look at his artwork, and it's really good. And we always
Obviously,
buy
outside
something
of the
from him.
vein of human trees are robots.
Well, he does robots a lot.
Well, that's usually he has steel like flowers, or it's just very.
Okay.
I'll tag him online or something so anybody that's listening to this can see his artwork because it is really cool.
It's just different.
Yeah.
We were talking to Old School and I got sidetracked by it because WonderCon. Oh man, I gotta tell you a WonderCon story now that we're here. Okay, we've all been to Comic-Con,
That's
right?
up in San Francisco still, right?
It's in
No.
Anaheim now.
Oh, they moved it? Okay.
Yeah. It was in San Francisco and then it moved to Anaheim and they said they were going to move it back, but it's gotten so big at this point that they can't.
Like San Francisco.
People like San Francisco.
Blame them.
I don't like San Francisco.
Parking's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, and the convention center's smaller, and it's just they
dirty.
moved. It went up to L.A. for a year while they were doing some renovations in Anaheim.
Yeah.
But okay, so we've all been to Comic-Con, correct?
Yes.
Have you been to Comic-Con? I know Corey and Katrina have. Have you been to Comic-Con when it was so big that you had the people outside preaching? That like
yes.
the
And then you get the counter protesters there with the the
and I am under the umbrella that says don't listen to them. They're not worth your time. Because they aren't, and you can go hold up your signs and next to them and
Tell me I'm going to hell
and whatever, and you can go argue with them, but they're not worth your time.
They're everywhere. They were at my high school graduation
Yep.
because we had the what happened, and then
The what?
I went to Granite Hills, so it was
Okay.
the year after the shooting happened. So they were there for that.
Well, we had. I mean, when
They were at Santana.
they had the abortion things outside. I went to West Hills, so they
Yeah,
had
the
all that.
guy that drives the van around here.
Yeah,
At
that guy.
graduation?
Yeah.
That guy had to have died because I haven't seen that van.
He lives in La Mesa. Like,
Oh, really?
well, I'm sure there's a statute of
Maybe he's a shut-in
limitations,
now.
but when in high school we probably vandalized his van pretty good. Back in the day.
I got into it one time with one of those guys, and like I was. You're in high school. You don't care. I'm yelling at some guy,
Right.
And I walk by, and there's a teacher, and he just like gives me the thumbs up, like, yeah. But anyways,
Yeah.
I completely okay. So yesterday, I'm walking out of WonderCon with my two kids,
Right.
and this guy's a little taking things a step further than most the preaching people are, and I don't have any problem with religion at all.
Yeah.
I do have a problem that when people try to shove things down your throat and they try to belittle the things you like because they think it's wrong. Well, this guy was talking to a cosplayer who's dressed up as somebody and says, "Oh, you're a big man. You're a big man." This is what the preaching guy is saying. He said, "What if somebody shot a bullet right here? You'd be pissing your pants right now." And he's talking about people getting shot up in the climate now.
in the climate that
while
we're
he's
in.
trying to preach about God. Those things to me don't go hand in hand. And I was like,
That's just
Counterintuitive.
That's just poor taste.
yeah, and I wanted to just get in this guy's face, but as
Yeah, and the thing is
I'm a
that
little older
they're
now.
trying to get you.
Yeah.
They want you to engage.
Yeah.
and that's how they get their attention. I made the mistake in Vegas. I was there for New Year's Eve. I will never do New Year's Eve in Vegas again.
I don't blame
But
you.
they were there, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I had a bit to drink,
Okay,
and
as you do in Vegas.
I may have smuggled glass bottles onto the street with me, and I may have let a few fly in the direction of those people when that happened.
Allegedly.
Well, you can take glass bottles on the street. And,
No, so for like big things like that,
Oh.
they don't let you.
Gotcha.
They sell you $15 plastic bottles of beer.
Even the casinos, they don't like you taking their glasses outside the
Yeah.
casino. You're
Yeah.
not supposed to.
Okay,
Yeah.
Even though you see them like lined up against the hotels
Yeah.
and the casinos.
Last time I was in Vegas, I was very well behaved. Mind
Yeah.
you. Had a lot of fun.
Vegas is fun.
Yeah.
Vegas is a good time.
Did a bachelor party with my boys back in the summer, and we had a lot of fun. We had a suite at the Bellagio. We did the
Nice.
We did the Battlefield Vegas thing. You know, you pay money, you fire off an automatic weapon on the range.
Cool.
Steaks and cigars, and then hit the clubs. We had
I can't see you hitting the clubs.
we got bottle service at one of the.
I can't see
exotic,
you getting bottle service.
exotic dancing clubs there.
Gotcha.
A strip club?
Yes,
There you go.
Go
a gentleman's club.
You
if
can go to
will.
an ice bar.
No.
We went
Those
to
are
don't
fun.
roll your eyes. We went to an ice bar last time we were there, and it was
It was
awesome.
great. It was so much
What was
fun.
it? They give you coats and stuff, and drinks are just okay, but it was fun.
I like the drinks.
It was good.
It's the gimmick that I was like, it doesn't do anything.
The thing is
Yeah.
by going in there, you're paying the regular amount you would pay
Yeah.
in Vegas for a
Anyway.
drink. So it's
Yeah.
not like it was like overpriced.
Of course,
it was
yeah.
Vegas price.
You're paying Vegas prices.
And
Yeah.
Corey still has mittens from there
Somewhere.
because they give you gloves when you go in there and a big coat. The girls are all in dresses, and we're all in
Parkas.
yeah, like they don't give you leggings.
It was fine.
It was cold.
It was fun.
But then after that, we went to Gordon Ramsay's at Caesar's Palace, and I
Yeah.
had like a $50 steak, and it was awesome.
I love going to. It's right by the MGM. I love going to the Hofbrau House there.
I haven't been there. I've wanted to, but I haven't been there.
I
It's the German beer hall, right?
Oh yeah. They do a good dunkel. It's very similar to like my favorite beer, so I'll chug a liter of that. When I lived in Kingman, Arizona, the close basically there's nothing to do in Kingman, so if I want to do dinner, I'll drive 2 hours to Vegas and get dinner late at night because I work nights.
Uh huh.
everything closes at 6.
Oh,
so when I
Vegas
wake
was only
up,
2 hours away. I'd be there all the time.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I took an
Yeah,
exam
all
on
the
my
time.
birthday to get like my CEN. Just one of the things I could put extra initials after my name for, and I passed that. And I'm like, all right, let's go. We're gonna hit the beer hall, and then we got VIP tickets to go see Evil Dead the musical.
Really?
I was in the splatter zone.
Oh God.
Was it, like,
At 4, and
God,
I
he
think
was
it jumped.
so
I think
good.
it jumped the shark before John Lithgow, and I think
Yeah, but there was like
season 4 had moments, but it also wasn't that. I don't know. It was like
I
didn't do it
liked
for me.
season 1 and 2.
I killed Frank Lundy, like the only good cop in that entire universe. Where
Which one was Frank Lundy?
that was the special agent Rockstar from season 2 that was basically going to catch Dexter. If
Is that Carradine?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he was great.
No, he's awesome.
But and I like you said season 3, but there was like season 4 I loved, and then there was the Colin Hanks one, which was with Edward James Olmos. The rest of it was just meh. But I
What was
loved
the one with the girls in the barrel. That was kind of meh.
I like John Lithgow. He was
Oh,
he
the
was so
trafficking that they were
good.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
And then there was the chick from Chuck.
I've never seen a single second of Chuck. Is that
That was the
Zachary
crazy
Levi?
chick. Yeah.
Oh, Yvonne.
The Straville.
Yeah, I like her, so I'll watch.
She was in Mass Effect 2, right? She was she was Miranda.
Well,
Sure.
I've never played a Mass Effect.
Okay. I think she did the mocap, but trying to give you a frame of reference.
I don't know what you're
That's
talking
not
about.
Okay.
working for
All
him.
right.
Do you see that mocap video of whatever game it is coming up with Andy Serkis? He's like some monster
just
or
called
dragon.
Andy Serkis,
What is this
A
called?
Life in
You're
Mocap.
not in your head. Do you know what it's called?
No, off the top of my head.
Okay,
No.
but it looks really cool. But Andy
Yeah.
Serkis and mocap, you kind of like.
Yeah, I mean,
They go hand in hand.
He played Snoke, didn't he?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah.
he's directing a Jungle Book movie, and I think I've talked about it on here.
What do you think about Snoke dying?
After the time they put into him and devoted to him being this big baddie in
Who
in
he
episode
was, where he come
7,
from.
So me and my roommate, we talked heavily about this. J.J. Abrams, he really loves beating the whole mystery box thing to death.
and then just dropping it off the cliff.
Yeah, and I think there's probably some threads. I mean, I got some theories that he's like an incomplete clone of Palpatine. So,
that might be
because you
kinda
notice
cool.
like how those
sewn
movies
together.
have borrowed stuff from the expanded universe and kind of woven it into this new canon. So I would not be surprised if they took that thread that Palpatine had. That
Rian Johnson just ruined all that shit.
He might have been. They might have been having him, like you said. If J.J. Abrams did all this, put all this stuff up there, they might have just had him like cutting threads. Just saying, "Hey, this ends here. This ends here. This
well,
ends here."
I think a lot of it is severing ties with
The originals?
the old Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
The send off for Luke. I know everyone's like, "Oh, that's not really Luke." I think they're kind of pushing for like some sort of new philosophy. I think which was the Grey Jedi at one point. If you ever read any of that stuff, they were basically all about like the harmony of the Force, that you can't have light without dark, and that they both have to coexist within balance of each other. And so they were about maintaining the balance between the two. And so they were also pretty like standoffish. That's the impression that I got from Luke's character. So it didn't really seem that, because you got to keep in mind he has no one to train him in the ways of the Force except for a couple of ghosts
Yeah.
and some books.
Did
Yeah,
you
and
like?
some-
Did you like? Did you expect Yoda in it? Did you like Yoda?
No,
In it?
I did not expect Yoda.
Did you like that he was a puppet?
I did. I was also like, this would have been a cool opportunity to have a nice Ewan McGregor cameo too, because he was much closer to Ben than he was Yoda.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you be all for a Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan movie?
he's a little bit older.
Well, he's gonna be Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
What?
He's Christopher
They're
Robin.
doing a Winnie the Pooh movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
Oh,
live,
they're doing like a
live
Hook thing?
action.
It's like that's what I said. It's like Hook.
I
I
never cared for Winnie the Pooh.
He didn't look that old in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor's aged pretty well. He's with
He likes
was it
bacon.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead now? Is that her name?
Really?
That's the girl from Cloverfield Lane,
Pilgrim?
right?
Yeah.
And Scott Pilgrim, yeah.
Yeah.
He left his wife of like 20 years.
Wow.
I think they were on Fargo together, weren't they?
Good for him.
I think he left his wife.
Well, I mean, we don't know what goes on behind
We
closed
don't.
doors,
We don't.
so-
I'm not here to judge.
She's pretty. Like,
Yeah,
good for
she
him.
is very pretty.
Good for him.
Did you happen to see anything? Comment? Was it Ryan Johnson? Rian?
Whatever it is.
The guy who directs. So
Yeah.
he put something out. Like he was asked if all the petitions, all the hate would make him change the way he wants to go about the next Star Wars movie, and he said no. But it sounded condescending. Maybe I just read it that way. Like basically, no, people aren't going to like the movie. Even if people don't like the movie I'm making, I can't let their opinions affect the story I want to tell, or something like that.
I think that's true.
That's true.
If you let outside,
How is that
that's a slippery
condescending?
slope to let outside things affect the way you're
That's
making
how
something.
I Met Your Mother ending. I gotta make everybody freaking happy with this stupid show.
I think it's so weird they put. I don't know what part of the story that guy made.
Really?
But
What?
unless that guy's
That
like,
whole
Don't get me started on that stupid show and the ending on how
It was,
I loved how it
looking
ended.
back, it was not like the only two interesting characters were Marshall and Lily.
What?
I loved Ted.
Marshall is a big goofball.
I love Marshall.
Lily's the
Lily
worst
is
character in the
worst
whole show.
person in the
yeah,
entire
absolutely.
world.
She's the counter to his naivete.
But she's a terrible
Bad
wife.
person.
She's a terrible
They're all
person.
terrible. But that's the
Well,
thing.
Barney is, but
Every show is
Yeah.
every show that has been popular in the last. That's been the trend.
Marshall wasn't terrible. Why was Marshall terrible?
He's not terrible.
Yeah.
He's the one. He's the.
He's
conscience
saying
of
that
the group.
Marshall and Lily are one person, and she is the bad, and he is the good.
The
Yeah.
balance of light and dark.
Yeah. But you look at like all these popular sitcoms and shows. Everything that people are loving right now involve very narcissistic, sociopathic, horrible human beings. And some of those play out great, like where you have like It's Always Sunny, where it's just
fuck that.
the
They're
worst,
all-
the worst humans, and it's just fun to watch. Or if you get going like the serious stuff, like David Duchovny in Californication, or Shameless, or any of those other edgier shows. We're all really into watching people implode, and that makes for really good television right now. So I mean, it's to be expected that you're going to have a cast of horrible characters.
Yeah, in 2018, we're not going to have any Game of Thrones or Rick and Morty. Makes for a sad year.
You know what though?
You don't like Rick and Morty?
I don't mind it.
Okay. You don't mind it, you just don't like it?
I think it's good. I don't think you need to be like.
You don't. I think we've had this
Yeah,
conversation.
you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. I mean, it's
It's a good show.
It's
It's
a good
smart.
show.
It does
For what it is.
It does have a couple levels, but you don't have to have an IQ of 150 to watch the goddamn
No,
show.
you
And I
don't.
don't care about whatever.
And it doesn't beat you to death with because I am a bit tired of like referential crap because
Uh-huh.
that's getting
Remembering
played
this
out.
tiny little thing in the corner
Yeah.
from 20 episodes ago? Yeah.
God, I love the commercial. You know the commercials that they do in that show though? They do in like one take, and they do
ad-libbed.
his take.
Did you ever watch any of the Justin Roiland stuff he did before the show?
No.
He had this YouTube show called The House of Cosbys.
Okay, I heard about it. Yeah.
Absolutely effing hilarious, man. It's just about cloning Cosbys, and each Cosby has a different personality, like Buck Naked Cosby, Bathtub Cosby.
You can't make that show now.
No, of course not. He got a cease and desist after 4 episodes.
Nice.
You had Country Music Cosby, and then every 10th one had superpowers. And so they had Cosby Team Triosby that consisted of Radio Frequency Cosby,
Wait,
Toothpaste
So
Cosby, and Bird
the Cosby
Cosby.
people shut it down because they didn't want to sully his good name.
Yeah, well,
Probably
Good
at the
job,
time.
guys.
looking back,
Really?
Maybe you should have started that shit fucking 30 years ago.
sponsored by Benadryl.
Oh, no.
God, that guy.
Put it in your jello.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta do my stuff. So, if there are any new listeners that lasted through the whole episode, I appreciate it. Make sure you do go to our iTunes page and leave us a review. It helps us a lot. And who doesn't like reading anything good about themselves? Come on, right?
Okay, no.
No? It feeds my ego.
Yeah.
I don't have an ego. But no, seriously, if you can, go to iTunes, leave us a review. It really does help. Unless you want to leave a 1-star, then please steer away. and don't
Contact
remember.
me personally.
Yeah. You can feel free to contact me. My email's on here. You can talk to me. I'm pretty active on Twitter. Next week. Oh, I want to tell you next week's episode.
Yes.
So Brian, who's been banned from the show. That's just how I talk about him on here now. Sent me this list, and it was a bracket of 32 Disney and Pixar movies. And somebody had done a bracket, and this bracket was garbage because I don't know how Bug's Life beats out Ratatouille. Or just
Really? Bugs Life?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just real quick. There was a couple on here that I was like, oh fuck
Robert was
that.
personally offended.
Yes, I was. I'll
Where
read
did
the,
Coco
By somebody
land? Where
else's
did Coco
opinion.
land on it?
I got cut out.
Coco got beat up by Cars 3. Okay?
Let me ask you though, because as much as you love Coco and
Uh-huh.
as much as you talked about how much you love Ratatouille, Has Coco displaced Ratatouille's number
No,
one?
Ratatouille's my number one.
Okay.
Coco might be my number 2, but Incredibles is right up there as well.
Yeah.
But that leads me to this. Incredibles beat out WALL-E, but Monsters, Inc. beat Incredibles. And I'm like, So, but it ended up being, there was another one on the other side.
Plot twist.
Mulan beat out Zootopia. Come on.
Good choice.
Come on.
I don't see anything wrong with this list yet.
But the best Disney Pixar movie ended up being Monsters, Inc. And it was Monsters, Inc. versus Mulan, which means...
That's a good
Mulan
showdown.
beat out a lot of things.
Mulan,
You have to
yeah.
book it.
It was Mulan against...
Really?
That's a good...
Mulan beat out
Number one,
Zootopia,
too.
Nightmare Before Christmas, Hercules, and Tangled to get to the final.
Solid.
Monsters, Inc.
So I also
beat
want
out...
to know when this person was born.
Yeah. Monsters,
That's
Inc. beat
probably
out... it beat out Cars, Incredibles, Bugs Life, Toy Story 2, which I would still put above. Anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the same bracket with 32 different things and take the top 32 highest grossing movies of all time. And we can put them on a bracket of 32.
Oh, you're just going to have me angrily texting you while I listen to it now.
Yeah, you're about to upset as many people as you're upset.
Well, how
Oh,
many
no,
people...
because you're going to be like, you can't remember something. I'm like, oh, you should know this.
Well, we have to have an odd amount of people on the podcast. So if you want to come back next week, you can.
We have to invite somebody else.
But we have to invite one more person.
About
So maybe I'll try to
Brian.
get Eric. But here's the thing. I know there's a ton of Fast and Furious movies in there, and I haven't seen any of them.
Because they suck.
I've seen one in Tokyo Drift.
I've seen one.
So
I saw the
you-
first one.
So you would vote
I've
against
seen
it?
Paul Walker.
Yes.
So maybe...
That's a skewed...
you know what? Brian has seen all of them, and he has been banned off the show. But maybe for the fact of...
They'll coast right to the finish then.
My
but he'll be the
question-
only one...
That's not funny.
So the other caveat, are you going off of top gross, not counting for
I'm not doing adjusted for inflation.
adjusted for inflation? Okay, because then you're going to have your ETs, your Gone with the Wind,
Snow White, Gone with the Wind.
Was it Riverboat?
What's wrong with Gone with the Wind?
Gone with the Wind is the number one if you account
adjust for
for inflation. Yeah,
It's a great movie.
it is a great movie. I'm just saying that is typically the number one for ticket sales and everything.
Yeah,
'cause-
he wasn't saying anything bad about it.
Yeah.
Jeez. So that's going to be next week's episode. So it should be pretty fun. If you want to come back, you're welcome, but we need a fifth person. So we'll figure out who that's going to be this week, and we'll come back next week. And that'll be this week's episode.
Ooh. Tweet him your predictions of what'll be number one.
Yeah, do that. At Sly Comics. Tweet us what you think will be number one. Good call.
It's going to be Ratatouille.
That's not in the top 32 highest grossing movies
Is it
of all
not?
time.
Thank God.
You know what? Since we're here,
It's not that, it's Incredibles.
It's you're going by IMDb's list, right?
yes.
What, you going to list them all?
Well, we could do 32 movies right now. Just real quick. I can go over them, and it'll only take a minute or two. I just have to find them. I could do Box Office Mojo as well. I don't want adjusted for inflation.
Go to buttstuff.com.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Moviepoopshoot.com.
Here we go real quick. Avatar, Titanic, Force Awakens, Jurassic World, The Avengers, Furious 7, Avengers Age of Ultron, Deathly Hallows 2, Last Jedi, Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, 2017 one, live action, Black Panther, Fate of the Furious, Iron Man 3, Minions, Civil War, Transformers, Dark of the Moon, Return of the King, Skyfall, Age of Extinction, Dark Knight Rises, Toy Story 3, Dead Man's Chest, Rogue One, Stranger
Pirates of the
Tides,
Caribbean movie.
Despicable Me 3, Jurassic Park, the original, Finding
Wow.
Dory, The Phantom Menace, Alice in Wonderland, Zootopia, and The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey.
So I
Fuck.
think I saw
No-
3.
No
Fast
regular
and
Dark Knight? It's just
Dark Knight is 33.
Dark Knight Rises.
That sucks dick.
why? Why? It's riding in on the wave of that from the hype of the Dark Knight. It makes sense that the third one's going to make.
No,
more
I mean,
opening.
like my choice of...
So here's your
Winner.
guys' homework. Go watch all the movies you haven't seen on the list for the top 32, and we'll come back next week.
So I'm going to watch a lot. Apparently, I'm going to see Tangled and Frozen for the first time this week.
Did I say Tangled? Was that on there?
I thought I heard some.
Well, Frozen
Disney
was
movie.
on there for sure.
Frozen.
Tangled is actually a good movie.
It was.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to sit through a Transformers movie. Which one? Dark of the
There's
Moon.
2 of them.
Dark Side of the Moon.
I'm not watching that shit.
We're gonna watch it, but we gotta go. That's
Yeah.
the end of this week's episode. We're out.